I like to use this tool because it's rounded on the edges, so it's not going to mar your neck. And it's out. All right, you guys, so just want to start this video here in the garage, taking a bunch of parts off of the Sportster. You guys have seen me buying all kinds of parts for this bike, and I just started tearing it all down here today. I was going over, I got the swing arm mocked up, so it's not torqued down, it's just mocked up till I get the wheels back from powder coat and start assembling everything. I got the seat, the shocks, got a bunch of parts here, but I haven't showed you guys any updates. Also, you guys, just so you know, I am removing all this wiring, so the entire wiring harness is going to come off of this motorcycle, and we're going to put the Sportster treatment wiring kit on there from Lowbrow Customs. It's going to remove all the unnecessary stuff. The only wiring that's going to be left on this motorcycle is going to be the front headlight, the rear tail light, and just the necessary wires to make this bike run and function. So we're going to clean this entire bike up. I'm going to be stripping this thing all the way down. Since we are going to start working on the engine now, we're going to tear these jugs out. We're going to get new pistons in here. It's going to get a lot more fun. So it's the beginning of fall in Ohio. Just wanted to let you guys know it's going to start getting cold, so there's going to be a lot more garage videos. There's going to be a lot more work going on in the garage because I want to get this thing dialed in for next year. So next spring, I'm going to be ripping this bike probably more than the Lowrider S. So I'm smiling in the midst of all this work because as I started tearing this motorcycle apart, I started running into more issues. So one of the exhaust studs is snapped off in the cylinder. So you guys know how I am. I'm just gonna do a 1250 kit on it. So instead of wasting all my time trying to get this thing welded and taken out and all that stuff, this thing's got 44,000 miles on it. I'm just gonna do the 1250 kit. I'm gonna go ahead and sprucing it up. I'm ripping the front end off of this bike as we speak. I'm gonna start getting the adjustable front end on there. I got the entire front end off of the Sportster. I gotta bring the lower triple tree in the work. I gotta press off the bearing. I'm gonna have to press it out and press the new ones on there. So I'll be doing that at work sometime throughout this week. But I kind of wanted to show you guys what I use to remove the races for the neck bearings. Sometimes I reuse them if they're not pitted or scored or have any markings in them. This one has little divots in it. Like I said, the bottom bearing was completely toasted. Handlebars moved just fine. There was no binding up or anything, but when I took this triple tree assembly out, man, it just fell apart. So we're getting them races out. I felt some little divots in there. There's some pits in there. So we're gonna get those out. I already removed the bottom one. It's super easy, but I wanna show you guys the tool that I use. All right, you guys, so these are the tools I use. So I got a little mallet, and then I got this here. It's a 1/4 inch Craftsman. It's a super long extension. It's about 10 inches. So what I do is I take this and I run it up through the neck here, and then I find a little lip inside there. And once I get into that little lip, I just tap the bottom of it and it'll pop out. I'll see if I could get you guys a better view here. I use these two tools right here. They seem to work just fine. Also, want to see if I could get you guys a view of that broken stud in here. right up in there. The stud is completely broken off, the exhaust stud. Yeah, we got the entire front end off of the Sportster, and we're gonna start tearing into this engine here before we do anything else. So thank you guys for staying tuned and putting up with my stuff, but I'll show you how I get this bearing out. All right, so while you guys are doing this, make sure you wear eye protection or you're aware of your surroundings, because when these things come out, they come out pretty good. Try to work it around if I can find a nice lip in there. If not, I'll just stay in that same spot, and you just want to work it. Make sure you don't smash your fingers. It's all about finding that sweet spot. I like to use this tool because it's rounded on the edges, so it's not going to mar your neck. And it's out. So that's the easiest way that I've found to get those out. It's not very fun, but it works very well and it saves a lot of time. Now I'm gonna grab the bearing driver that I have, and I'm gonna clean out this neck real good. I wanna get anything that could still be in there, dirt, crud, any of that stuff. I wanna get all that stuff out, and I wanna make sure that I'm putting these into a clean space. Got to bring the lower triple tree to work and use the shop press to get that stem out. All right, so gonna get the bearing and race driver kit here. This might be a little difficult because I'm gonna be swinging on like a weird angle when I'm installing the one on the bottom, but I think it'll be just fine. We'll see here as we go. This is a cheap kit from Harbor Freight, but it does a pretty decent job here, so I use it. We're just gonna put these races in. We're gonna get these set in here for today. We'll worry about a lot of the other stuff later once we get our stuff pressed in and everything's good to go. But you're just gonna line this up, and you wanna make sure, it's going in smoothly. And you'll know when it's in because you'll hear the tone change. So let me know if you guys can hear the tone change. I'm pretty sure you guys heard that bottom out in there. So that's what you're listening to. They're gonna go in relatively smoothly, and once they get all the way in there, you're gonna hear a tone change. Did you hear that tone change? So that's how you know. And then you also want to physically check them. So I'll look in here real good, and I'll give it a few more taps just to make sure it's seated. But it's just that easy, you guys. You just want to take your time. This is a very important step here. There is going to be a lip inside. That's what you want, because then if you ever go to remove these, you got to have something to be able to catch on to beat it out. Yeah, that's about perfect. So it's just that simple, you guys. The race is the most important part. If you could run your finger inside that race and you feel little indents or grooves, go ahead and replace that, because you're going to feel that when you're turning. Also, there's a couple other things I wanted to show you guys. I did pick up the handlebars for this bike. Haven't actually opened them yet. They're still packaged. Really excited about these ones. I've never ran this style before. So we're going to go with a BMX style handlebar. Also running the ODI Heartluck grips. So the handlebars are pretty cool. It's a style I'm not really used to. You don't see a lot of this style out there, so I wanted to do something a little bit different on this bike. I'm also, since I told you guys I am running that Sportster treatment setup from Lowbrow, I'm also going to be getting away from running a lot of wiring on the handlebars too. So I think the only wires I'm going to have, not even wires, I'm going to have the throttle cables. Yeah, so these are pretty cool. I think these are going to look great on there. Really excited to run these. I think they're going to be perfect for the height and everything and the look that I'm going with on this bike. But yeah, so the throttle cables, there's going to be a throttle housing on there. Running the Brembo master cylinder, but there's going to be no ignition. There's going to be no turn signals. There's going to be nothing like that on these handlebars. You're just going to have your master cylinder. On your right hand side, you're going to have your clutch on the left. I'm probably going to run either an Elite Moto or I'm going to run a RSC clutch lever. So all the stock stuff's gone. This bike is not going to be stock anymore. We're going to do it once. We're going to do it right. I probably got $5,000, if not more, in parts for this thing. So I'm really excited to get it up and running. I'm going to spend a lot of time working on this bike. The wheels are at powder coat. They should be back sometime this week. I'm going to get the 1250 kit for this bike. We're going to go ahead and do that upgrade here to the engine. I'm probably going to switch the carburetor out from a CV to a Mikuni. I love the Mikuni carbs. Also going to be running an Arlen Ness air intake, more than likely. Got the Predator seat. You guys haven't seen the seat yet. Let me grab the seat for you. We're going to be running the Drag Specialties Predator seat. It's a pretty cool seat. It looks good. It feels great. It's extremely lightweight. That's what we want to do on this build. I want this bike to be lightweight. I want it to be fun. I want it to be fast. I'm going to do things to this bike that you probably shouldn't do to a Harley. So also got 13-inch rear shocks. I got Drag Premium Ride Height Adjustable rear shocks. So they're set right now at 14 inches. And we're going to run them like that. And then we'll have the seat on there. Going to be sending the tank out, the front fender and the rear fender, to get painted. The tank is going to be matte black with candy red flames, and the rear fender is just going to be matte black. So something I haven't seen done a lot, but I think is going to turn out really cool. So stay tuned, you guys. I'm really excited about this bike. Wanted to show you a couple things here that I was doing to it since I tore the entire front end off of it. It's pretty much stripped now, so once we get this thing completely stripped, I'm going to get the cases off. They're going to get powder coated. We're going to put the 1250 kit on this bike. We're going to get everything tuned up. We're going to eliminate all this wiring. We're going to go with that streamlined wiring system on here, so there won't even be an ignition. It's going to be all off that key. You bump it forward and it'll start the bike. That's what I want, super minimal. I want it to be set up almost like a dirt bike. I don't want all these wires. I don't want all these hoses and cables and everything everywhere. So bike's gonna be super clean. It's gonna be super fun. I also got the tail light in, so we'll wait till we get the Sportster treatment wiring in, and then we'll get that tail light on there on that rear fender once it gets painted. and you guys are in for a treat. Also going to be running TC Bros mid controls on this. We're getting rid of the forwards. We're going back to mid controls just like God designed the Sportster to be ran. We're also doing the chain conversion. It's going to be a really, really fun build, you guys. Stay tuned.